Not long ago, she was leading her government and making headlines around the world. Now, as our Robert Costa discovered, former New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is living a very different kind of life in a very different sort of place.
I don't usually put my name on the order, it's too complicated.
These days, at her local coffee shop near Boston, Jacinda Ardern can be just another customer.
When you order coffee here, do people start talking politics with you?
No, not at all. In fact, the guy behind the counter said to me, "Oh, you are really familiar." "Oh, I know, Tony Collette."
That's a moment that would never happen in New Zealand, where Ardern became the world's youngest female head of government when she was just 37 years old. Now 44, former Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has been living in the U.S. since she left office 2 years ago.
Experience and debate give rise to understanding and compromise.
She is serving as a fellow at Harvard University and has written a new book, A Different Kind of Power.
A different kind of power. What do you mean by that?
I think, there are different ways to lead. But I hope you also see that some of those character traits that we perhaps bring to leadership that we might believe to be weaknesses, imposter syndrome, or even empathy, actually are incredible strengths.
Ardern says her story is about finding her voice in New Zealand, a small nation of about 5 million people.
I never, ever saw myself becoming Prime Minister.
Your father said you were too thin-skinned. Is he right?
And he was absolutely right. But I guess where I corrected him was your sensitivity is your empathy, and goodness, don't we need a bit more of that?
In New Zealand, the answer was yes.
We want healthcare to be more accessible. Like we've got a long way yet to go.
Ahead of the 2017 election, Ardern suddenly became the leader of her country's left-leaning Labour Party. Weeks after winning, she made an announcement.
We're looking forward to welcoming our first child.
Her journey, alongside her then-partner, now husband Clark, soon won her global attention.
Were you comfortable with some of that symbolism, or was it at times almost overwhelming?
I realized the importance of it when I first received a letter from someone on their way to work to tell their boss that they were having a baby, and they felt nervous about their boss's view of whether they could do their job when she heard that I was pregnant, and that gave her a level of confidence. And and I felt like I also needed to show I could do the job and be a mother.
But those joyful early days were followed by challenges.
This is one of New Zealand's darkest days.
Mass shootings targeting Muslims in Christchurch left more than 50 dead, a crucible for New Zealand and a call to action for its leader.
Every semi-automatic weapon used in the terrorist attack on Friday will be banned in this country.
Why do you believe you and your colleagues in New Zealand were able to achieve gun control reform in the wake of a horrific mass shooting? But so often here in the United States, such legislative changes have been hard to get.
I can't speak to the US experience, but if we really wanted to say we don't ever want this to happen again, we needed to demonstrate what we were doing to make that a reality.
But even after she won another election, things weren't easy. As the pandemic wore on, tensions flared over her government's COVID policies. In 2023, when she stunned many by deciding to resign, she wore her heart on her sleeve.
You can be a nerd, a crier, a hugger. You can be all of these things. And not only can you be here, you can lead just like me.
Though she has left office, she has not stopped keeping a close eye on our turbulent times.
So what do you make of what's happening with President Trump on trade and on foreign policy?
I think actually we are seeing people experience deep financial insecurity, and that has to be addressed by political leaders. But I continue to hold that ideas of isolation or protectionism or closing ourselves off to remedy the issue actually doesn't remedy it in the long term and has a long-term negative impact for some of the collective issues we need to address as a global community.
Kindness, empathy, curiosity, inclusivity.
For now, Ardern is not angling to jump back into politics, but she is settling in to her new normal.
What have you enjoyed the most about this time?
Oh, just being a normal family. Yeah, being just a normal family.
Do we expect that of our leaders?
And when she is asked for advice, in a Harvard classroom or from a world leader, Jacinda Ardern tells them to be kind.
That principle of kindness, it's something we teach our kids. Why shouldn't we role model that in the way that we conduct ourselves in politics? And secondly, if you're putting people at the centre of what you're doing, it's a reminder that actually the act of being in politics is an act of public service as well. And I think voters need to see more of that.